Good afternoon. You are on to NTA Nationwide, and my name is Femi Johnson. Thanks for joining us. Work resumes on Tuesday after the expiration of the holiday to mark Easter celebration. Moplang Dakok, who visited some offices and other areas in Abuja, reports that business activities have also picked up.
Federal Secretariat, which was before now deserted, is now busy as workers resume after the Easter holiday. The federal government had last week declared Friday and Monday as public holidays to mark the Easter celebrations. As workers resume, commercial and private organizations that closed during the Easter celebrations also resumed activities. Workers are optimistic that following the peaceful celebrations, a season of peace and progress has come for the country.
I think the holiday had brought a lot of things. In the period we ended the election recently, expecting a new administration. I think the expectation of Nigerians is very, very, very high. I think anxiously I'm coming to the office today to see what will happen in the office.
Base of us time to refresh and come back more energized to work again.
You know, as a citizen, there are things that you're supposed to do, and we pray that God will give us grace to do it.
And I believe that with this, the Easter that we've just finished, which Jesus has said on the cross of Calvary that it has finished, I believe that change will start manifesting.
The general expectation from Nigerians is a safe country where they can put in their best and expect the best. Muplang Dakok, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the increasing traffic congestion being experienced in most of the world's cities can be attributed to the number of private cars in use. But the case is not totally the same with Yanya Maraba Road. Let's join Adebola Brooksley Sunday, who takes a look at the situation along that axis.
Traffic congestion is an inescapable condition in developing metropolitan areas across the world. Peak hour traffic congestion is an inherent result of the way modern society operates. The most obvious reason traffic congestion has increased everywhere is as a result of population growth. More people means more vehicles. And military checkpoints along this axis is also a contributory factor.
We urge that people along that axis should be patient, because you can see that apart from the traffic challenges, there's also the security implications. We have the military checkpoints, although we are discussing with them to see how they can reduce it so that people can flow.
Sule Dafang is a regular user of the Maraba-Nyanya road and believes he has a solution to the challenge.
Well, the number of cars has its own role to play, but there is this road between Orozo and Apo Mechanic, or Apo Roundabout. If that road can be, completed as quickly as possible, this go-slow will be taken care of.
Federal government and the Abuja Municipal Council and all the authorities, they are working on all those roads inlet. But for now, until such roads are completed, we only have one that is coming in. So we are duty bound to respect the law enforcers.
NTA investigations reveal that some of the reasons people drive their vehicles to work is to maximize comforts and avoid the stress involved in catching up with public transports. Experts in road management encourage people to use their private vehicles less and public transports more. In Abuja, Adebola Brooksley Sunday, NTA News.
From that, as we move on to election matters, where the Inspector General of Police, Suleiman Abba, says 124 suspects, including the mastermind of Enugu bomb blast during the last presidential election, have been arrested. The Inspector General of Police disclosed this at a meeting of the police management team with state commissioners of police at the force headquarters in Abuja. Correspondent Dino Justice reports that the Inspector General of Police conference is to review the last election and strategize for this weekend's governorship and Houses of Assembly election.
The Nigeria police to earn a lot of...
The meeting, after reviewing the police performance at the last presidential election, agreed that the force demonstrated high sense of professionalism by being non-partisan. The IGP, while commending the police for a job well done, however, urged the officers and men to continue to do more.
We did all our best to protect INEC officials. Unfortunately, incidents happened Isolated as they were, we want to treat them as challenges so that they don't occur in the April 11th elections.
On the alleged threat from a traditional ruler in the southwest, the IGP said since the statement has been denied, an investigation will be carried out. He said all those arrested will be investigated and prosecuted.
We will continue to effect arrests, but the most important thing really, we focus mainly in preventing, whether general crime or crimes relating to electoral offenses.
A minute silence was observed in memory of late MD Yusuf, a former Inspector General of Police who died last week. The meeting, which went behind closed doors, is expected to perfect strategies to ensure a peaceful governorship and state houses of assemblies election scheduled to hold nationwide this weekend. Aiding of Justice, NTA News.
Still on election matters, the Independent National Electoral Commission says the smart card readers will be used for the April 11, 2015 elections. The provisions of the guidelines for the conduct of the 2015 general elections will outline what is to be done if a card reader fails and cannot be replaced by the Commission within a specified rescheduled time for the election to the next day will be enforced. A statement signed by the Secretary to the Commission indicates that the relaxation of the guideline on 28 March 2015 was only respect to the presidential and National Assembly elections held on that date. The Commission has reviewed the operation of the card reader and the 28 March elections, identified the challenges, and has taken adequate measures to address them. And with the presidential and National Assembly elections concluded, and the last lap, the governorship and houses of assembly set for the 11th of April, stakeholders are calling for a review of the exercise. Guests on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria program say the call is to ensure challenges experienced, imposed, and are repeated in the forthcoming elections on Saturday. Amina Najim has more.
2015, Nigerians will again go to the polls for the governorship election, which will be held in 29 states, with the exclusion of Edo, Kogi, Bayelsa, Ondo, Anambra, Ekiti, and Osun states. Addressing challenges ranging from the functioning of the card reader machine, late arrival of materials and INEC officials to polling stations, security issues, logistics to underage voting, discussants say were all pressing issues that needed urgent attention.
Very importantly, INEC must arrive on time. INEC must have its materials complete. In very many places, there were no result sheets.
We have made this call about moving around the recs. What is happening with the card reader, with the PVCs, is the beginning of the reduction of the human element.
A lot of places where there were deviations from laid down procedures, those involved have actually been moved and will not, step aside, will not conduct the April 11 elections.
Our major concern is the process. The outcome will be determined by the electorate.
While solution for a successful election is being looked into, some will be sought in the short term, while others will require long-term solutions, were the views of some guests. Elections will also be held to fill vacancies in 36 states' houses of assembly in over 119 polling units in Nigeria. In Abuja, Amina Nujaim, NTA News.
And still on political matters, the People's Democratic Party PDP governorship candidate in Nasarawa State, Yusuf Agabi, has reaffirmed his preparedness to ensuring peace for development to thrive in the state if elected. He stated this during a campaign tour of Nasarawa West Senatorial District. Correspondent Suleiman Ove Musa has more.
Addressing supporters in Kefi and Kauru local government areas of Nasarawa State, Yusuf Agabi says if elected governor on the 11th of April 2015, his administration will diversify the economy of the state and create employment for the teeming youths.
Nasarawa State has so many sources of revenue, and as an accountant, I know how to explore those sources of revenue that we are going to have sufficient money to carry out all the duties that we have promised the people of Nasarawa State.
The wife of the gubernatorial standard bearer, Hulira Yusuf Agabi, also embarked on a separate campaign tour in Zone to canvass support for her husband, urging women to vote PDP. From Kefi, Suleiman Ovemusa, NTA News.
In another development, the national chairman and presidential candidate of Alliance for Democracy, Rafiu Salau, is directing his members to vote for the All Progressive Congress, APC, in all the constituencies that the party does not have candidates in the state and houses of assembly elections. He gave the directives while addressing newsmen in Abuja. Correspondent Aisha Zango Abdullahi is putting the report together. And this is News Nationwide. You are on to NTA Nationwide. We thank you for being with us. And let's also tell you that after 16 years of dominating Nigeria's political space, the ruling People's Democratic Party, PDP, will be taking the back seat in the House of Representatives when the 8th National Assembly is inaugurated in June. National Assembly correspondent Ifeanyi Okafor takes a look at the configuration of the House and the likely implications to business in legislation.
What analysts describe as Nigeria's evolving democracy, the All Progressives Congress, APC, will become the leading party with a clear majority in the 360-member House of Representatives. About 28 million citizens cast their votes for their preferred candidates. With the results declared, the All Progressives Congress is reported to have won about 200 seats. With these upsets and resounding victories, the House is still reverberating with analysis of the political calculations, the actions and inactions of government and the opposition parties.
In spite of the outcomes, the expectations from the National Assembly would be a stronger National Assembly that carries out its oversight over laws, appropriations, and policies in a way that, as they say in the House of Representatives, where oversight is no longer inspection, where it is a continuous process, where we strengthen the National Assembly.
The greatest lesson is that we can change the direction of our present situation. It's a great lesson of tolerance, of unity, of working together.
Expectations are that the House would rise above primordial affiliations and work to serve all Nigerians. From the National Assembly, Ifeanyi Okafor, NTA News.
And you are still on to NTA Nationwide. Earlier on, we told you that the national chairman and presidential candidate of Alliance for Democracy, AD, Rafiu Salau, is directing his members to vote for All Progressive Congress in all constituencies. Let's join Aisha Zango Abdullahi, who is now ready with our report.
The President-elect, Muhammadu Buhari, the leadership of the party says its earlier decision to adopt the APC presidential candidate has resulted to victory.
Now that the first step has ensured good democracy, the alliance is extended to the state level.
The party chairman emphasized that, as a staunch advocate of anti-corruption, Muhammadu Buhari's government will give the people value for their revenue, as well as direct the nation's economy towards positive development.
The parties have similar manifestos for ensuring constant development of the economy. Since the manifestos give assurance of job creation for the labor force of the nation, it is essential for the parties to come together.
In Abuja, Aisha Zango Abdullahi, NTA News.
Demola Adeoyena has the next set of stories from our Lagos Networks studio. Demola, it's over to you.
Good afternoon and welcome to Lagos. After the holiday to commemorate the Easter celebrations, workers and other Lagosians in the informal sector have resumed business activities. Amechi Pius visited some parts of the Lagos metropolis and filed in this report.
As early as 5 o'clock in the morning, workers and other business owners were seen returning to their duty post. The long queues and the usual hustle and bustle that characterize major roads within the Lagos metropolis are gradually coming alive. Some workers who spoke to NTA News expressed readiness to resume work.
I'm so excited to come back normal business.
After 4 days of resting at home, at least one is refreshed, one is strong again to go back to work.
Back to work again, because after the festive period, I realized it's
useful
for us to resume back to work.
Thank God, today is Tuesday, I'm back to work.
While those in the informal business, like these traders at the popular Balogun market, were seen displaying their wares for prospective customers, commercial banks and other corporate offices in the informal sector have also opened for business. Our investigations also revealed that those who travel to other parts of the country to be with their loved ones for the Easter holiday have started returning. In Lagos, Amechi Pius, NTA News.
The success and credibility of the forthcoming governorship and State House of Assembly elections is largely dependent on effective and unbiased reportage by media practitioners in the country. This was the consensus of speakers at the two-day training workshop for journalists organized by INEC in collaboration with Media Scholars Network in Lagos. Musa Toliat reports.
Speakers at the workshop were of the opinion that the successes recorded in the just concluded presidential and National Assembly elections couldn't have been possible without the positive impact of media reportage of the polls. Former Regional Director for Africa at the United Nations Population Fund, Bumi Makiwa, urged the participants to be mindful of the language while reporting to forestall any incitement of violence.
Coverage must reflect facts, and facts are verifiable. So when you report on facts, you are not likely to be unobjective.
Papers were also presented on fair and balanced election reporting, non-partisan election reporting, as well as legal and ethical imperatives with focus on objectivity.
When it comes to news reporting, it is even more important. The gatekeeping function is to establish the credibility of a story. Is this story credible? So what we're about here is to, like I said before, increase the skills of journalists.
INEC chairman, who was represented at the workshop, enjoined journalists to verify electoral information with the commission before publishing.
The media should be able to educate the people enough to know that violence will not lead us anywhere, even as we go to the polls.
A communique is expected at the end of the two-day workshop with a theme, Reporting Elections, Sustaining Best Practices. In Lagos, Musa Tolian, NTA News.
Lagosians have expressed their readiness to participate in the forthcoming elections. Our correspondent who went out to sample opinions of Lagosians on the governorship and State House of Assembly elections coming up this Saturday reports that many say they are familiar with the candidates of their choice.
My expectation, I expect Nigerians or Lagosians to go out for the best. I believe we know who's best. The best candidate should win. And I have my personal preference, because I don't want to influence anybody. I'm not going to disclose that on camera.
Also took time to commend the federal government for organizing a credible, fair and free presidential and National Assembly elections. The hope that INEC would have corrected some of the lapses recorded in the last elections.
I'm preparing to vote for this next one. I heard we are using the card reader once again, so we are well prepared. I'm well prepared.
All Lagosians to shun violence and conduct themselves peacefully at the polls. The need for government to improve its routine immunization program in all the states and communities is a key factor in polio eradication. This was a submission of speakers during the week at a seminar on polio eradication in Nigeria. Annie Daniels reports that the seminar was organized by the Rotary Club, District 9110, Lagos.
At the forum noted that the accelerated introduction of inactivated polio vaccine, IPV, into the nation's routine immunization schedule has helped in the eradication of polio in Nigeria. They advised government at all levels to put in more effort to completely eradicate the virus in the country.
7-8 months ago, we've not had any
make sure that within the next 4 months we are certified by WHO as being polio virus endemic free country, and after that in another 2 years we'll be certified free if we don't have any new case of polio.
As a virus destroys the nervous system, it causes paralysis, and that's why we have been advocating for family members to make sure that they vaccinate their children of this virus right from birth.
The speakers also suggested that availability of funds, adequate security and provision of social amenities like motorable roads will assist government to achieve quick and effective results.
It is important because the structure that we have put in place that has made it possible for us to reach every child, no matter how difficult the terrain is, no matter how poor the family is, can now be used to eradicate other diseases.
The seminar had members of the Rotary Club 9110 in attendance. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
And that's our package from Lagos. It's back to you, Femi, for more on Nationwide. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Ademola. The People's Democratic Party has criticized the alleged statement by the Oba of Lagos, Obarilwan Akiolu, against the Igbo resident in Lagos. The party's National Publicity Secretary, Olisa Metu, while briefing journalists in Abuja, described the statement as unfortunate. Ignatius Unko reports.
Over the weekend, a statement of death threat credited to the Oba of Lagos, Obarilwan Akiolu, against the Igbos went viral, especially on social media. Though the Oba has denied that statement, it is yet provoking the peace at the camp of the People's Democratic Party, Igbos and well-meaning Nigerians. The party is reminding the traditional ruler of his utterances, describing it as a call for anarchy.
The onus is on the Oba to prove to Nigerians, especially Lagosians, that his actions did not fall short of the expectation of the royal institution through which his ancestors fosters justice, unity, and harmonious living.
Olisa Metu alleged that there are plans by other parties to destabilize the People's Democratic Party, as he called on the party's supporters to remain faithful to the party. He said PDP is ready for the governorship election.
We wish to state in very unequivocal terms that the PDP leadership, under the astute chairmanship of Amadou Adamu Mwanzo, CON, will not condone any witch hunt on any of our elected and appointed officials.
The People's Democratic Party says it will play the role of an ideal opposition party in the country, devoid of rancor. From the PDP headquarters, Abuja, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
In another development, the presidential candidate of the People's Party of Nigeria, PPN, in the 2015 elections, Prince Kevin Alagua, has felicitated with the President-elect General Muhammadu Buhari over his victory. In a statement issued in Abuja by the Director of Operations of PPN Campaign Support Group, Mr. Benedict Okpara, Prince Alagua described the outcome of the elections as divine and globally adjudged as not only free and credible, but also peaceful in the history of the country. Prince Alagua urges the President-elect to run an inclusive government, reposition Nigeria for greater and sustainable socio-economic and political development. The Coalition of Civil Society Group for Transparency and Good Governance has pledged to support General Muhammadu Buhari's administration and the fight against corruption. Making the pledge in Abuja, the group appealed for the prosecution of those behind siphoning of pension funds in the country. Musa Babaliu has more.
Civil society group is concerned over the welfare and well-being of retired civil servants who are yet to get their benefits for what is termed corruption in the system. The group frowns at the way and manner the ongoing investigation on pension payment, administration and management is being handled by the security agencies.
Call on the relevant security agencies to serve as a deterrent to other members of the society who may have been indoctrinated by minors' sacrilegious and unpatriotic attitude on the said pension fund payment and management.
It therefore appeals to the incoming government to fight corruption and those associated with it.
These organizations, if you're Buhari, we have been fighting, and now we get more added value. Our own fight, and the new incoming president who does not like to see anything that corrupting the nations, I think we'll also join hands with him to look for all those looters.
The group was constituted primarily to assist government at all levels in the fight against corruption in public service. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
2015 World Health Day focuses on food safety. Details of these and more reports after these messages. Join us again.
The general elections, accreditation of voters will take place in all polling units from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Card readers will be used to verify the permanent voters card presented by each voter. Names of voters who pass the verification by the card reader will be checked in the voters register and duly accredited. Voting will commence at 1:30 p.m. till the last person on the queue has voted. Do not come to the polling unit with another person's voter's card. Keep away from the polling unit if you do not have a permanent voter's card. This message is from the Independent National Electoral Commission,
supported by the European Union through the UNDP Democratic Governance for Development (DGD2) project. INEC, making your vote count, consolidating our democracy.
Celebrating Nigeria's democratic triumph is the focus on NTA Tuesday Live this week. Tuesday Live, objective, incisive, informative, and engaging. Don't be told. Join us.
During the 2015 general election, slated for 11th April 2015, thousands of Nigerians will be serving as election officials. These include youth corps members who will be serving as presiding and assistant presiding officers. Other Nigerians will work as collation officers and returning officers. In addition, many officials of INEC will be in the field supervising elections and providing backup support. Fellow Nigerians, it is our collective duty to protect election officials before, during, and after elections. We should not allow anyone attack electoral officials. No election official should be injured or made to lose his or her life. Our young youth corps members participating must be protected wherever they're serving. We also wish to make it abundantly clear that security agencies will be present and ready to deal with anybody or group of persons with attempt to foment trouble or compromise the safety and well-being of its officials. This message is from the Independent National Electoral Commission,
supported by the European Union through the UNDP Democratic Governance for Development project.
INEC, making your vote count, consolidating our democracy.
You are watching NTA, Nigerian Television Authority. For more information and news updates, visit our website at www.nta.ng, or you can follow us on Twitter at NTA News Now, or you can like us on Facebook at NTA Network News. Stay connected on our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/NTA News Online. Watch our live stream at www.nta.ng/live. NTA, you can't beat the rich.
Nigerians, accreditation commences at exactly 8 a.m. Verify your correct polling unit with the APO3. Card verification via card reader with APO1. Identity confirmation with the APO2. Receive tag and ink finger. Voting proper start at exactly 1 p.m. Join the queue. Collect ballot paper from APO2. Thumbprint on selected candidate in secret within lines. Fold paper in vertical form and meet APO1 to cast your vote. Leave the voting area or wait peacefully for results. Don't forget, 11th April is for governorship and House of Assembly. Do the right thing. This message is from the National Orientation Agency, funded by the European Union through UNDP DGD2.
You're still on to NTA Nationwide, and we thank you for being with us. How safe is your food? This is the question the World Health Organization will want answered as the world marks the 2015 World Health Day. Rashidat Mustafa Lagunju was at a media roundtable that deliberated on this year's theme, which is food safety.
From farm to plate, make food safe is the slogan for this year's World Health Day. The World Health Organization said about 2 million people die annually as a result of unsafe food. Experts also noted that food containing harmful bacteria, viruses, parasites or chemical substances is responsible for over 200 diseases. Hence the need for all to ensure that food are properly handled, cooked and preserved.
Government need to wake up, the private organization need to sensitize the public, the local government, the state government need to wake up, the media, which are watchdog of the society. You are doing well, I should do more to enlighten the public about food safety and food hygiene so that our children, our families will be safe.
It's not just for you to eat any food, you ought to eat nutritious food and food that is safe. Your environment matters. The things you do as you prepare your food goes a long way to make the food useful to you.
They also submit that food safety is a shared responsibility, given the emerging changes in food production, distribution and consumption. Stakeholders therefore called for national and international food strategies, guidelines and codes of practice to ensure adequate safety of food. In Abuja, Rashidat Mustafa Olagunju, NTA News.
We now go over to the Benin Network Center for reports making round from that zone, and Obey is our guide. Over to you and good afternoon.
Good afternoon and welcome to Benin. Employees form the largest population in both the private and public sector. A greater number of them barely endure work or retirement until they die without really being rich or wealthy. These formed the thrust of study by a professor of accounting, Prince Famous Izedomi, who is working on the total financial entrepreneurism as a workable model to wealth creation. It was at the 155th inaugural lecture series of the University of Benin. Uduak Obong Achibong reports that the topic of the lecture was, if you want to be poor, be an employee only, an accountant's perspective of wealth creation. Her report.
In our several job-seeking graduates yearly, with a lower number securing gainful employment. Professor Izedomi said deep involvement in total financial entrepreneurism, comprising entrepreneurial intelligence, financial intelligence, and investment intelligence, will go a long way in reducing poverty, underemployment, and unemployment in the society. He sued for proper gown and town synergy, vocational skill acquisition by graduates while still in the university, and proper attitudinal orientation among youth.
Starting from the university system, that we should look inward, look at our programs and ensure that we begin to teach the students how to create job and how to create wealth.
The Vice Chancellor of the University of Benin, Professor Faraday Oruense, represented by the Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration, Professor Lawrence Ezemoye, acknowledged his contributions to education. Some of the people said they have a better understanding of wealth creation.
The art of money making is different from credentials. That's what he has told us today.
So he remains poor if he remains as an employee.
Professor Izedomi has 124 academic publications to his credit. He is the first to occupy the prestigious Icahn Professional Chair in Accounting in the university and in Nigeria. In Benin, Udakobong Achibong, NTA News.
There are strong indications that the National Institute of Construction Technology, UROMI, may commence full operation in the second quarter of this year. These indications emerged when a team of assessors from the National Board for Technical Education, MBTE Kaduna, visited the school. Kelvin Ewonaye has the report.
We're in NICT UROMI to assess its facilities and human resources and advise the management appropriately ahead of the commencement of academic programs. The delegation, made up of 8 experts in the field of engineering and environmental studies, visited the Institute's 24 workshops and 2 computer laboratories, as well as 14 classrooms, all fully air-conditioned. The leader of the MBT delegation said, with the facilities on ground, the school can successfully take off.
Any institution
established by the federal government of Nigeria, and we are here on advisory capacity. They already have certain facilities that are donated by the host community, which is very large, and we think they will be a good stepping stone for them to start some of the projects.
Director of the institution, Professor Sunday Onohaibi, after conducting the MDT team around the school facilities, said the institute is set to float 7 programs in electrical engineering technology, civil engineering technology, welding and fabrication technology, building technology, quantity surveying, architectural technology, surveying and geoinformatics technology.
Our goal is to train students who will be technically sound, students who will be able to be employers of labor when they graduate.
The National Institute of Construction Technology, UROMI, is a specialized institution established by the federal government in 2014. In UROMI, Kelvin Alumaye, NTA News.
A 3-day training for graduate interns has begun in the state with the theme Enhancing Graduate Employability and Providing Quality Temporary Work Experience. Bukola Oguns reports that the workshop was organized by the management of the Subsidy Reinvestment and Empowerment Program, SHORPI, in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Finance, Abuja. The report.
Assistant Director, Graduate Internship Scheme, Mr. Abubakar Jega, said the workshop is designed for graduates to be placed in viable firms where they will be mentored. He stressed that manpower development is a key focus of President Goodluck Jonathan and a priority in the attainment of Vision 2020. He advised the participants to see the workshop as a stepping stone to realizing their potentials.
Government cannot be the main employer of labor, but should rather be seen to create the enabling environment that will stimulate business that will create jobs.
Resource persons in their various lectures explained the benefit of power and vision, personal branding, and self-development, which they said will increase their competitive skills and add value to their entrepreneurial capacity that will stand them out in the job market. Some of the participants said the lecture is apt.
And they are empowering us on how we can increase our productivity.
It is good for you to have a vision of what you are going to do so that you'll be able to get it.
And I've learned that anything is possible by the individual.
The workshop is expected to examine other areas of entrepreneurial development for the young graduates. In Benin, Bukola Oguns, NTA News.
And that's it from Benin. It's back to you, Femi, for the continuation of Nationwide.
Thank you, Obey. The University of Uyo has presented its gender equality principles, advocacy, and human development. Vice Chancellor of the institution, Professor Comfort Ekpo, made a presentation in Uyo, the Akwa Ibom state capital. Edidi Ongiba tells us more.
Framework, according to Professor Ekpo, is aimed at confronting structures and systems that impede men and women's equal participation in all spheres of the university life and the eradication of such inequalities. Professor Ekpo, who is the first female vice-chancellor of the university, noted that women are beginning to take front-burner roles in the institution, as the university's registrar and librarian are both women, saying the establishment of the Center for Gender Studies is her modest contribution to the promotion of the cause of women in the university.
Women development, or the lack of it, seems to be a direct reflection of the level of national development.
Keynote speaker Mrs. Folorunsho Alakija remarked that women have made significant differences in the society, challenging participants to rise up and prove their worth.
When given a chance, the opportunity to operate on a level playing field, which is very rare, women prove their ability.
With the global theme, Make It Happen, the 2015 International Women's Day celebration featured talks on health, investment, and legal rights of women, march past by women groups, exhibition, dinner, and a special Thanksgiving service. In Uyo, Edidi Ongiba, NTA News.
Enugu State House of Assembly rejects authorization of the state government to pay 11 billion naira to contractors. Details of these and more from our Enugu Network Center, where Ngozi is our guide. Hello, Ngozi. It's good to see you.
Thank you very much, Femi. Good to see you too. Hello and welcome. Deputy Senate President Senator Ike Ekweremadu says leaders of the People's Democratic Party, the Southeast, are committed to repositioning and strengthening the party. Senator Ekweremadu gave the assurance during a meeting with stakeholders from the Enugu West Senatorial Zone in Enugu. Nkira Nyefena has details.
Senate President Senator Ike Ekweremadu stated that he has no plans of defecting to the All Progressive Congress and pointed out that PDP is strong in the states and remains a formidable party to beat. Senator Ekweremadu, while reacting to what many regard as the Southeast misadventure in view of the emerging scenario at the federal level, stated that the National Assembly will not allow any state to suffer discrimination irrespective of its political persuasion.
The 1999 Constitution makes it impossible for any state or group of states to suffer any discrimination in the allocation of resources and opportunities. Every state is entitled to one minister. Every state will also have its share of other federal appointments.
The DSP said the PDP in the Southeast will work hand in hand with the incoming administration led by General Muhammadu Buhari in line with the Southeast regional agenda and overall development of Nigeria. He also condemned the threats allegedly issued to Ndigbo by the Oba of Lagos, stating that Ndigbo will not be intimidated in any part of Nigeria where they have contributed immensely to its development and the economy. He also called on the people to come out en masse and vote for the PDP in the April 11th governorship and House of Assembly elections. In Enugu, Nkiru Anyefiana, NTA News.
The Enugu State House of Assembly has passed a resolution rejecting the authorization of a state government to pay the sum of 11 billion naira to contractors. Chegon Aro, who covered the seat, said the resolution was by an overwhelming majority.
Reacting to the written message by the State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Anthony Anisan, requesting the House to authorize the state government to take a loan of 11 billion naira from the UBA to cover monies paid to or to be paid by the government to its contractors executing projects in the state. Members of the House pointed out that the time frame for the request is too short, as the tenure of the State House will soon expire, same with the government requesting the loan. The House pointed out that government is a continuum, and therefore, instead of hurrying into borrowing, the incoming government should be given a leverage to function. At this point, the House went into individual voting, where 2 members were for the loan, 2 refused to be decided, while 13 members were against the request. 6 members were, however, absent. The House also has given an ultimatum mandating Accountant General of the State, Mr. Pascal Okoli, to release the overhead of the legislative arm of government before Wednesday, the 8th of April. In Enugu, Chiegonu Aro, NTA News.
Property worth millions of naira have been destroyed by windstorm at Okweke Akonano, Enugu South local government area of Enugu State. Following the devastation, the community has called on government and other relevant agencies to come to their aid. Susan Eze reports.
The devastation across the land was visible from all points, as almost every home in Akuke was touched by the windstorm. Both private and public properties suffered various degrees of damage. Homes and businesses were destroyed as buildings and economic trees came down.
In over 300 buildings, trees, economic trees, were destroyed, uprooted.
For the pupils and teachers of Central School Akuke, next academic session may be a rough one, as their school buildings seem to be the worst hit, with roofs totally blown off and teaching aids destroyed.
ASUBEB, to help us to renovate this house so that children will continue with their education.
The community health center, the town hall, electricity poles, and even the historic Big Three were not spared by the ravaging storm. Counting their losses, the national president, Akuke Town Union, and a former House of Rep member, on behalf of their people, called for help.
We are using this medium
to call on government agencies and other stakeholders to come to the aid of our people.
But I can tell you what happened in this community was much worse than a tornado as will happen in the Western world.
Though no life was lost, the people are picking up the pieces of their homes, hoping that help would soon come their way. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
The erosion site at Ugbutansude in Udi Council area of Enugu State has been handed over to a construction firm with a charge to reclaim and remedy the gully within 1 year. Chinyere Okoye reports that the project, which will gulp 283 million naira, is under the Nigerian Erosion and Watershed Management Project, new map.
Over the years, the people of Uguto Nsude have been disturbed by the devastating effect of gully erosion in their community, which eventually started threatening the state water reservoir located there. While handing over the site to Chesavive Nigeria Limited, the State Commissioner for Environment, Mr. Nnemeka Chukwune, said the recovery priority project of the state government, whose counterpart
cases in Nsukka and Enugu East. However, the Director of Public Health Services, Ministry of Health, Enugu State, Dr. Okechukwu Osai, said that the reported cases of...
We apologize for that mix-up, and that's how it's been from this end. We now take you over back to Abuja. Femi, take it away from me. Take it away.
Thank you, Ngozi, and NTA Nationwide will be back soon.
Nigeria. During the general elections, accreditation of voters will take place in all polling units from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Card readers will be used to verify the permanent voter's card presented by each voter. Names of voters who pass the verification by the card reader will be checked in the voters register and duly accredited. Voting will commence at 1:30 p.m. till the last person on the queue has voted. Do not come to the polling unit with another person's voter's card. Keep away from the polling unit if you do not have a permanent voter's card. This message is from the Independent National Electoral Commission,
supported by the European Union through the UNDP Democratic Governance for Development DGD2 project. I'm making your vote count, consolidating our democracy.
Celebrating Nigeria's democratic triumph is the focus on NTA Tuesday Live this week. Tuesday Live, objective, incisive, informative, and engaging. Don't be told. Join us.
During the 2015 general election, slated for 11th April 2015, thousands of Nigerians will be serving as election officials. These include youth corps members who will be serving as presiding and assistant presiding officers. Other Nigerians will work as collation officers and returning officers. In addition, many officials of INEC will be in the field supervising elections and providing backup support. Fellow Nigerians, it is our collective duty to protect election officials before, during, and after elections. We should not allow anyone attack electoral officials. No election official should be injured or made to lose his or her life. Our young youth corps members participating must be protected wherever they're serving. We also wish to make it abundantly clear that security agencies will be present and ready to deal with anybody or group of persons with attempt to foment trouble or compromise the safety and well-being of its officials. This message is from the Independent National Electoral Commission,
supported by the European Union through the UNDP Democratic Governance for Development project.
INEC, making your vote count, consolidating our democracy.
You are watching NTA, Nigerian Television Authority. For more information and news updates, visit our website at www.nta.ng, or you can follow us on Twitter at NTA News Now, or you can like us on Facebook at NTA Network News. Stay connected on our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/NTA News Online. Watch our live stream at www.nta.ng/live. NTA, you can't beat the rich.
The Nigeria Labour Congress has expressed its heartfelt condolences to the people of Kenya over the senseless massacre of innocent students of Garissa University and other citizens. NLC says it is grieved by the manless violence, but urges Kenyans to remain vigilant and strong no matter how long it takes to overcome the forces of darkness. It also noted that Kenya is being attacked because of her stand in the promotion of core human values in and around the territory. And on sports, in a sports package, Azizat Oshola's form boosts Super Falcons All-Africa Games preparation as Director General of the National Sports Commission lauds the efforts of the Nigerian media in sports development. Let's join Fisayo Gufui for details of this and more.
The Super Falcons of Nigeria have intensified preparation for the all-important return leg of the All-African Games qualifier against Mali on Friday. Reigning African Woman Footballer of the Year, Azizat Oshoala, leads a team of foreign-based professionals, which also includes Esther Sunday, Desire Oparanozie, Francesca Odiaga, and Osena Chihohale. Oshoala has hit a rich vein of scoring form, netting a goal and providing an assist in our club Liverpool Ladies' 2-1 win over Birmingham City last week.
If we work together, we'll make it through and retain the title again.
The Director General of the National Sports Commission, Gbenga Elegbeleye, says media practitioners should see themselves as partners in progress in sports development. The DG made the call during the Kick for Charity campaign aimed at raising awareness on the plight of the less privileged in society.
Nice to give back to the society, and I appreciate all our broadcast journalists for coming up with this idea.
Former 5,000 and 10,000 meters double Olympic gold medal winner Haile Gebrselassie has lent his voice to the call for African athletes to avoid the use of banned substances to enhance their performances. The Ethiopian long-distance legend, who spoke after appearing as a guest of honor at a marathon meet in South Africa, said there is no honor when an athlete uses sophisticated drugs to win competitions. With Sports News Update, Fisayo Gunfui, NTA News.
Finally, be safety conscious and add these emergency numbers in case of security breach, courtesy of the National Security Advisor.
The National Security Advisor says for all cases of suspected insecurity, please call or SMS the following numbers: 070-5727-4630, 070-5727-4632, 070-5727-4633, 070-5727-4634, 090-9622-3788, 090-9622-3816, 096-303517, 096-303520, 096-303522, 096-303523, 096-303525.
And that's it on NTA Nationwide. My name is Femi Johnson. We thank you for joining us. More reports will come your way at 6 o'clock. Do join us again for the 7 o'clock news, and don't forget the network news at 9. Good afternoon.